Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of FishTown here in City Skylines 2. And if you're thinking, hold on, this looks a little bit different to what I've been used to, you are correct. This is the first time I'm recording the game right now, and actually my first time playing City Skylines 2. Since the brand new Frost, I think it's called, update from the new team that's taken over. And we have a few changes. Visually, it already looks very different. The UI looks very different already. And I'm very, very excited. I've got deeper blues, lighter lights, and weirdly, the game feels a lot smoother than it normally does. You already know what's a part of this brand new patch. One of them is the fact that we now have less people on bikes, 80% less, apparently. So that's really going to help out my bike highways. But I'm not going to get too into the nitty-gritty of the patch right now. I want to see how it affects FishTown and what we need to do. Now, last episode, guys, we implemented our very own football stadium right now. Look at how glorious it looks. I think it's a nice fitting feature. It just kind of finishes off this kind of like pier area that we've been working on the last couple of episodes. We really increased the population as well. And we've added in so many more buildings. Apparently, there's a little bit of traffic over here that we might need to sort out at some point in the future. But one of the big problems we are now starting to slowly face within FishTown is the utilities. They're slowly starting to creep on us right now. We need more garbage, we need more water, we need more sewage, and most importantly, we do need more power. And we can kind of tell that because right now we are mainly solar-based. No, not solar-based, wind-based. Yeah. And we're also generating from the incineration plant. But the problem is, I think we've got to the point right now where we're now starting to kind of slightly pay for power by importing. Yes, we're spending 71,000 big ones every month right now on importing power from outside of the region, which is... It's not good, if I'm being completely honest with you. It's not that good. So, I think we need to start taking utilities a little bit more into account and to slowly start future-proofing ourselves as well. And one of that is, how can we generate more power? Well, we've got many ways in which we can do it. We can just build more wind turbines. I could go coal. I could go gas. I could go more coal. Geothermal, solar, I can go nuclear, but I could also go hydro. Now, you may be thinking, Seniac, to go hydro, you need a fast-flowing river, and that is a river that we do not have right now, no. But what we do have, though, guys, is a volcano island. A lot of you guys last episode were going, Seniac, what are your plans for the volcano island? I think I might have a plan. Now, this huge volcano island right now, it's quite high. If I check out the topography of this right now, you can see very high, has a huge basin in the middle with water that then flows down. Now, this water, I don't know how fast flowy it is. Oh, actually, it's quite fast flowy. So if I built a dam at the very top, I then generate electricity. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? But also, when you check the topography of this area, which if I can find my topography button, they've changed all the icons right now, which I do really like, but it's now making me realize I actually don't remember what the topography button is and where it is and all that jazz. Is it this? Leisure? No. Where is it? It's here somewhere. Water? No. Workplace? That's a good point. Where is my topography button? Which one does topography, guys? They've changed the icons. If I knew what it was, then we'll be all good. Is there even a topography button? Now I'm second guessing what I actually know about the game. Right, I'm just going to go here. It's easy to see it. What's interesting about this island is there is quite a large perimeter, which is almost on like a buildable flat level. And I thought, well, if I build a huge dam, I need to be able to access it to maintain it and all that jazz. So we're going to need a way for people to get over here. And then I thought to myself, well, what if I was able to do like a Hawaii style where there's like a little town on the outskirts just praying one day the volcano does not erupt, even though it is water, but we don't talk about that. And it kind of hit me. Well, I could create a small little port area as an entry, a gateway onto this island. That sounds pretty good to me. So you can see where this is now going, boys. This is going to be a very, very interesting one. So, like I said before, if you enjoyed the series, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new. We are now going to dam off this volcano island. So we'll try with the dam first, just so we can see if it's viable to actually generate any form of power. Now, I could go super high and build quite a large dam and generate... Wow! That's a lot of electricity. But it's too high because there is a certain point where it can start spilling over the other end. So I don't want to dam it too high. So if I was to do here... I mean, I don't need... If I'm being completely honest with you right now, I don't need vast amounts of power being generated. I just need a little bit more. I'm only 6 megawatts out from what I actually need. So if I can generate almost 70 for what this is assuming I could pretty much do, then that will do for me. That will do for me. So I've got to find the right elevation, first and foremost. Just trying to pinpoint what makes the most amount. Oh, okay, this might make a bit of sense here. So if I went across, let me go a little bit. How far do I go? This is the other thing as well. I don't know how far to actually ultimately take a lot of this. The higher we go, the more we're going to generate. But the higher we go, the more it's going to want to back up the water. So I reckon we go about there, which is almost 50 megawatts of potential power we can generate, which is half of what we generate in total right now. So we'll go to there and drop that down. Oh my goodness me, I'm already panicking. I'm already absolutely panicking right now. I've just damned it all off. So there we go. We've got that set up. We do need to connect up a bunch of electricity stuff to kind of make it work. And we need to connect the road up. We need to somehow bring it down to a decent level. Oh, this is where the stress now begins, guys. This is where the stress all now begins. So I think first then, we connect it using the underground power line system. I connect this up, and I'm just going to bring it all the way over here. And just connect it like that, just so we can utilize the power. So power now hopefully being utilized, which will only now produce what we need to use. The rest of it will then get exported. That's kind of what is going to happen. So this is producing... Oh, okay. It's only really producing 3.2 megawatts. Okay, we might need to wait for it to back itself up a bit more before we truly see the benefits of it. Which I'm a bit worried in case it then starts overspilling. But we'll cross that bridge. Haha, get it? I mean, it's technically not a bridge, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, the dam has been created. Okay, the dam has been created. I don't know how much power it's going to produce in the long run, so I'll fast forward and we'll just kind of see. Now, we get the initial flow coming through, which is amazing. We do get the initial flow coming through, but the more I look at it right now, the power is slowly dwindling. Are we not going to produce the power that I was expecting to? What's going on here, Dan? What's going on right now? It does require a road. I don't know whether that's going to stop it. Oh, okay, right. You can see the water's getting less and less. We are waiting for it to back itself up a bit. So this is the bit I'm a little bit concerned about. We'll soon find out if it does overspill. So I've now got to wait for this to back itself up to create the pressure to have a constant flow that produces power. That makes sense. Okay, I'll let it do what it's got to do. I mean, it is a dam. That's what dams do, right? That is what dams do. Right, let's see if I can bring this down to, like, a level. It's kind of going to be the world's most glorious spiral road. It's a normal road we're going to have to work with. Right, let's see what we can do here. So, coming off it, if I'm able to select the center point, can I just anarchy this? Right, why can't I select the center point of this? Is it like a 2-lane road? Is it a 1-lane road? It's the road that requires a divide. See, that comes up, but that's way too big. Right, that works. So, we'll do a little bit of a bend here. So, I'll do bam. And then... where's my 90 degree? Bam. Bam. Right. It's already going up a little bit too high, but what we're going to do is we're going to slightly drop it down. And then get that point and bring that point down as we slowly try and make our way go down the hill. This is going to be quite trying this, but we're going to see what we can kind of get out of this. So I'm going to go for a little bit of a wiggle road. And as we wiggle down, we are trying to get ourselves to decrease the elevation. And there is only one great way to do it, and that is to spiral it. But also keeping it within the trees, because that's what allows me to make sure that I'm not pushing it too far. And I think this might work to this point. And I'll bring you there. So how does it look? It actually spirals quite nice. There's a few points where it does raise up a little bit more than it needs to. So we'll drop you down. Bring you down. There we go. Don't mind too much like a cliff edge, because that's all part of trying to spiral down a huge mountain, right? So that makes its way down pretty nice, and it gets us to a level point where I can then run it along and then maybe create some type of community or something like that. Right, the dam has pretty much dried up here right now. Literally dried up. So we are waiting for that water to rise behind it. It's got a bit of breathing space to do so. I'm trying to see if it is rising up. It might take a long time. I'm just kind of looking at the water level here. It might take some time to like rise itself up. So, worst case scenario, I can also redo the dam and drop it down a bit, because like I said, it might be a bit too high. I don't know if we've got to fully get it up to the top of this. Oh, actually, I don't know, because there's a little bit of water there. I don't know if it's trying to flow through. Nah, I don't think it is. But anyway, we've made it down to here then. So what we're going to do is we're going to build and choose a little bit of an area to where we can create like a little bit of a harbour point. And I think this here is where it starts to become a little bit wider. So it might be a good idea to kind of build it here, and that becomes the natural end point to this. And we can create a nice little back and forth going on. Should be pretty sweet. So when it comes to it then, I could look towards doing ferries. So fuels, maintains, stores ferries. This is the ferry depot, isn't it? Yeah. So the ferry terminal allows passengers boarding ferry to disembark. I don't know whether this is the best way to do it, or whether I should just do like a normal kind of port area. But let's just reclaim a little bit of land anyway. And we'll sort this out. Brush size down. And we're going to pick a point. I reckon I'm going to pick about here. And then we're going to kind of slightly stick it out. Reclaim it just a tiny bit of land to work with. Because I'm not going to build a huge, you know, city here. It's going to be a small little village. So, yes, that's a reasonable size. But where would I put this over here? Because I could integrate it at the very end there, and becomes like a walkable area. Or I could integrate it here. I don't know what the best way, because a ferry line is completely separate. So I want to be quite true to the area. So if I dropped you there, what does a ferry line look like? Well, it's a narrow seaboat line I need to make. Right. It connects there, but because I've done it on Anarchy, what's the problem? There's no car access. Bus terminal. Oh, hold on. Am I doing it completely wrong? I think I am, aren't I? So let me reposition this. And then you've got... Wait, what is that there? That is a bus terminal, a ferry pier. Yeah, you've got to make it stick out. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Right, I've never done those before. It's like the fishing. I've never done it before. Right, so let me just bring this out maybe a tad bit more then. There we go, there we go, there we go. And how do I have it? Do I have it facing this way for a bit of, like, protection? I think it might be a good little shout. I'll do a nice little road here, so... Literally, the alignments of all of this right now are based off this one road. Hilarious. And then we place you down. So if I dropped you... Let's say there. And then we extend the ferry area out. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Right? And that's what we've then got to work with. So in reality, I could also just kind of reclaim a little bit more land. But then, like, bring it down to create, like, a sheltered, harboured area. Like what we do everywhere else. But I'm deciding to kind of go a little bit bulky on the old ferry system here. And then we can kind of, like, rock it all off if we really wanted to. But this is just like a placeholder to begin with. And it protects the ferries from the elements. So we'll do it like that. I could key wall it off rather than rocking it off. So very, very rough decision there. Very, very rough decision to kind of set it up like that. So that's how it's going to roll. Right. I'm actually quite excited to work within this area. Do we think this is now slowly backing up? Or do we think we need to slightly drop it down a little bit? It's difficult to tell. I think we might need to drop this this down a little bit. So if I drop you down, it's enough to allow it to flow through. But we do have many, many issues of our power lines not being connected. So, and that's because, obviously, the connection is now doesn't make sense. So let me just get this connected back up again. Right, what's going on there? What is going on there with these power lines? Right, there we go. So that connects them up. Okay, no it doesn't. What is going on here? Very funky, right? Let's try that again. Right, now we got some water flowing through. So it's now at a better stage where it makes sense. There's a little bit of megawatts now being produced. I won't say it's a generous amount, but there is somewhat of a flow. Now, we are losing out on efficiency because the low water depth. What do you mean low water depth? And not enough employees. Do I need to make it a bit higher? Is that what I need to do? Or are they saying the low water depth as in, like, the depth of the water is not high enough? It's not easy to understand these, is it? Right. Soften. Level slightly. Create a little bit of a basin. Soften. There we go. Has it affected it by much? It's gone from 85 to 82 right now on the water depth. What if I just raise it slightly? I'm going to raise it just ever so slightly. Low water depth's got even worse. Alright, I don't want to sink you down too much. Right, that's definitely flowing a lot more water. It's an interesting one. I feel like that is quite fast flowing water at this point. Or do you reckon it needs to be moved further down? Right, let's just focus on getting this all sorted first. And then getting some ships going back and forth. And then we should be rocking and rolling. So, I had an issue then with trying to get the ferry terminal over here. Mainly because I probably anarchied it. So there is overlapping items to do with the wall here. So if I was to, for example, get rid of the wall, okay, and I was to drop this down there, that connects in, and then try and get the wall back in. So we need to get the pier wall, which it's the chunkier one. And we need to anarchy it across, which I'm realizing I need to then move the land a bit further over. Because that ultimately doesn't line up that well. There we go. Bit of a tricky one this is, isn't it? Trying to get this to work is a bit of a tricky one. So I could do it like that, just to kind of like make sure that it still works. And that's should be okay. Now there's a lot of ships coming in and out. So we do have a slight issue here with trying to build a pier. But I could build it going down this way and it's still going to work. I could add a bus terminal to it. Don't need to, but I've added it anyway. And then we need the narrow seaboat line just to connect up like that. That's going to connect to there just for the sake of it. We have a ferry pier. And I can bring the boats into this little section of it. And then we can use that as like a natural kind of barrier to stop the boats rocking so we can dock nicely. Right. Okay. I'm thinking we might need to move this a little bit more forward. We'll play around with it in just a minute anyway. But let me now just get this narrow boatway coming up. So what we'll do is we'll bend you. Which that will then lead directly into... Hold on. Alright, that works. It's simple, but it should work. Right, let's provide it with the utility stuff right now. So if I just get this road here, just to go out and then connect up to my harbour there. So we got some form of sewage. And then the power would eventually come from us getting this road over here connected all up. So let me just look towards connecting said road up. So we'll go like there. I'm going to bring that straight to a certain degree. And then we'll start kind of bending it around my little perimeter. So that will naturally allow the power to connect to this from the minuscule amount that the thing does produce. Well, at least I'm hoping it will. Or do we need a transformer to drop those goods out? I thought that was the transformer that allowed me to do it. But let me just quickly now create a glorious ferry line. So we'll do it on the inside here. And then we'll just go back and forth to over here. Keeping it simple, boys. No dramatics right now. So that's enough just to get them people over there. Now, I'm going to need to get the harbour down. So we'll just assign 2. That's the minimum. We'll make the ticket price 3. And then I need the depot, don't I? Oh my goodness me, I didn't realise how big the depot building was. Let me just double check it hasn't pumped out the ship already. No, so we do need it. Right, it's actually quite a large building. And that's a shame, really, because it would have been nice to know if I was going to do this in the future, to then think about incorporating these. Does it work? I don't know if it works there as opposed to there. Kind of works. Or is it better over here? I'll leave it there. I'll see if it grows on me. But that's enough right now to get the boat coming out of this. So it should... Oh, there's an upgrade. Ooh. So the boat should spawn. We have the ferry depot. Why is the boat not spawning? Because you can go all the way around here in there. But apparently we have no vehicles. Right, we do have vehicles because I have now... Oh, there we go. It's now pumped them out. Okay, it's now pumped them out. Right, sweet, 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 sweet. Right, okay, so I need to figure out then the best method for this. Oh, hold on, we're now producing 11 megawatts. Oh, no. Maybe I just had to wait a little bit longer. Maybe that's all I needed to do. But is that mainly down to the fact that we're producing more because of the workers are now getting over here? I would like to attempt just to move it further out. Let me attempt to move it further out. We've got the money to do this, so let's give it a go. Okay. So if I was to put it, for example, then here, or like there. Is that asking for trouble? Because that now has to back up the water. Right. Efficiency is a lot better. And it does feel more dammed off. I think that works a lot better. So we'll see what it drops down to anyway, because it is going to negatively drop down. Right, that connects to there. And then we just got to get the road all then sorted. So what I did before is I got the 4-lane road, switched it to the 1. And then we're going to... Right, it's a bit shocking that, but let me just see if I can kind of now just slightly adjust it. Right, drop you down. And then we'll smoothen this off a little bit. Soften the terrain. Or level it. Whatever works. And then soften it. Okay, it's just going to bring that back. I ain't going to play around with it too much. It works. This is now producing 18 megawatts, so it's so much better than what it was before. I think I needed to bring it a little bit more forward, which that now does make a lot of sense. It does now make a lot of sense. You could also argue, bring it even more forward. But, no, that will work. That will actually work. And now we also have the ability for people to work here as well. So, I can deal with the minuses now. They're not as bad as they were, and it now does produce a lot more power. Power that we can actually utilize. So, we also need to integrate a transformer station here. Now, I thought that these were going to be... I know we got the transformer stations built onto it, but it transforms from hydro water power to the electrical grid. It doesn't actually transform it to the road layout, which I'm surprised it doesn't. I can use the French substation, or I can use a normal transformer station. Now, if I use a normal transformer station like that, it can be kind of integrated and felt like it's a part of it. And then all I've got to do is just... Oh, it already connects up for me. Perfect. So that then has power. Right. We're actually now accessing this island. As weird as it may feel, we are now accessing this island. Interesting. So my power then, production, is higher than my consumption, to the point where we've now gone back to exporting, and we can also charge the batteries as well. Now, granted, there's going to be a limit to this, and we will eventually go over that, but that is a nice little addition and has gave us a reason to access this island. Very good. I'm kind of impressed with this. So, what plans do you think I should have for this island? What do you think I should do? My initial thought process is I'm going to build a small little community just around the coastline. Kind of like Hawaii style, like they do on some of the islands over there. If you got any input for this, let me know right now on this episode. I would love to see what you guys could kind of come up with. Do I create like a tourist island? Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? That's very interesting. Very interesting. So I'll leave that island alone for now. It's given us the additional power. How is water and sewage? So water is not looking good, Brev. We could probably do with more water. Now, I can't really extend these as much as you would like to. It's more for sewage, this. Which my sewage treatment is completely fine. None of it allows me to actually produce more water. None of it actually gives me more water back. Now, my other options are... We have got a advanced water pumping station. I could also do some ground pumping, which is not a problem. We could do some ground pumping. Now, ground pumping means... Just looking around right now, that's all polluted. So the only water sources I originally had are now polluted. We do have a lot of groundwater over here. So I'm wondering if it makes sense to... And it probably does, to use like a big tower. At the very top of all of this. So... Ground pumping. Right, this is where it's a little bit difficult. I can incorporate ground pump in there. Higher elevation for the pressure of those pipes. And that slightly increases our water a little bit, which increases our export of water. I gotta take advantage of our natural resources, guys. And then, what about garbage? So garbage seems to be somewhat okay at the moment. But I think we could do with some upgrades to this, which is what's going to help us out. So, extra vehicle depot, that gives me an additional 25 garbage trucks, which we were already almost at capacity for those. We've got the ability to do a storage extension, which not so much of a bad idea in reality, is it? Hang on, what's this first? This is an extra incineration furnace, so That will also increase my power. And my ability to process through the garbage. So I'm just going to put an extra storage facility just there. That's actually more handy to upgrade than anything else. So that will also now increase the amount of power we produce. More vehicles as well, which is really, really important for us. So that should keep us on top of everything. Okay, that's actually worked out really well, I'm not going to lie. Right. Okay. So if garbage is taken care of, we're probably going to be okay now for the rest of this series with that. Power. That's going to come and go because obviously it depends on what the dam's doing. Honestly, depends on what the dam's doing. And what the incineration plant's also doing as well. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. Water's going to be okay for a bit. I can't see us needing any more now at this point, maybe. I don't know. We're okay. Healthcare looking pretty strong. How is education? Now, we do need another elementary school. I think this was the building that had the additional elementary upgrade. Provides quite a few more capacity for schooling. Yes, it does provide a lot more capacity. Okay, that's really, really benefited us there. So, those slight improvements and the ability to now unlock that area is going to dramatically change the game for us. I think that really is. So, is there a way in which we could maybe look towards just slightly figuring out the system here? So if I chose there and come down here... No. Right, it's done it the wrong way round, that has. It's done it the wrong way round. Probably the anarchy has messed me up slightly. Let's try that again. Well, what's going on with this? Why is it not doing it on the right side? Huh? Is this wall okay? Is it because I'm too high? What's going on here with this? What is actually going on with this key wall? Am I going crazy? Or am I going crazy right now? Is it too high? Is that the issue? No, it's not. It can't be too high. I don't know what's going on with that key wall right there. It's not having a great time, is it? It's not having a great time. You meant to get it like super flat for it to hug the edges. Like it works there, but it doesn't want to work here. It's got to be to do something with the land, doesn't it? That's literally... Oh, it could be because of the sheer drop. So if I soften the terrain slightly... Right, if this works along here, then we know what the reason behind it is. Right, if it works now, then we know what the reason behind it was. No, it still doesn't want to work. Could it be not high enough? Because it wants to work there. It could be not high enough. Oh, no. Now it works. What is going on with these walls? Right, they work to a certain degree. Right, I'm not going to argue with them because they're going to stress me out. They're going to stress me out. But anyway, boys, we have only a total of 8 workers anyway, so we do need to increase our population slightly because we need to make sure that we're providing enough jobs. We've lost 10 megawatts on that dam right there. So like I said, it's going to come and go. We can't really do much about that, unfortunately. We've got quite a few open positions. Unemployment is super low, so we need to bring more people into the area. And I did add a bunch of these little signature building stuff, which I think is somewhat the right idea to do, but also looking at the high-rise buildings is also a way to go. Large apartment buildings. I want to do some of this zoning as well, so if I fit a bunch within little areas here, helps out a little bit with some high density. It really does. We still got to do the upgrades on this as well. So response time, improve, city planning, living costs. There we go. Just make these city halls slightly now a little bit bigger. But we don't really have that much demand to play around with on the high density. We don't really have a lot to play around with. So I can do what I can do, but signature buildings is a great little hack to getting a lot of people moved in very quickly. That's way too big, that building. Ooh, see, now I want to put more of these signature buildings down. This is where it like, this is where it's very, very bad news for me. Right, can I put you there? What are you looking like there? Have I not got that building in already? I mean, it holds a few people, but I wouldn't say it holds that many people. Not as much as some of the others, but it all adds to the skyline, doesn't it? It all adds to it. Brings a lot more people over. But yeah, we need more people living here. A lot of it does come down to zoning as well. We're going to make sure that we're on top of all of that. So we will do... I might designate that whole area there to residential zoning. And you should get some pretty tall buildings coming from those as well. Right, very good then. So we know we need to grow the population. That's a given. That is a given. And this patch, I think if anything, it's actually made FishTown better. So I think it's worked in our favour slightly. Bike traffic is heavily reduced, which is good. But we're lucky in a sense that we don't have any vehicles. Because the whole point of this series is no cars. So if I had cars, having the 80% reduction in bikes means they'll all revert to either public transport or cars. So what's my public transit like? That's definitely increased. It's hilarious that nobody wants to use my buses though. But it does make sense because we have such a great integrated, web of transit. It makes complete sense. I've got all the boats here waiting. They can't do much right now. We're trying to dump as much fish stock as we possibly can. But I think this patch has made FishTown better. It feels better. It flows better. It looks better. I'm very impressed. What do you guys think about this new patch anyway? We do have a bit of traffic over here, by the way. But that's mainly because they're all trying to get to that one singular warehouse. We have those problems happen every so often. But like I said, it comes in waves, that stuff, so I don't think it's too much to worry about at the moment. Taller buildings now coming in. Lots more people are going to move in, which is great to see. And we're just slowly trying to increase the population. Where's my city stats here? Let's look at population. So we're at an all-time high, and we are trying to get it a little bit higher. I reckon we need another 10,000 more people living here. Yeah. Alright, we need to focus on building some other smaller areas and getting them more set up as well. But I reckon another 10,000 people need to move in. That's what I'm thinking. Right, guys, appreciate you all watching right now. Thank you so much. Let me know what you think about this dam. I'm not too sure what the best procedure will be to kind of move forward with this. I think that's fine, if I'm being completely honest with you. But also, what should I do with this area? Should it become a tourist island? Should I create a nice little community going around? And I gotta sort all this key walling stuff off, but we now have a ferry. We now have a glorious little ferry. Right, boys, until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.